Yo, what's good, people? How are ya? Happy Friday to you. Hope you're all doing well out there. Running just a few minutes late this morning. So I apologize to you guys for that. It's Feedback Friday. So let's say hello to whoever's in the room and get started on this thing. It's Christmas next week, you guys. Saf is here. Happy Friday, dude. Greetings from sunny-ish Maryland, Paul says. It is gray and wet here. Hey, bonch. Cold in Pennsylvania, huh? I think it's kind of cold everywhere right now. Well, in the States. Nate is here. What's up, Nate? How you doing, homie? Full moon tomorrow, says Heidi. Very nice. Cody Bodie's here. What's up, dude? Freaking love those emotes. 60 degrees and fresh, says Paul. Shrimp Guild Streamfest all weekend. Nice, Nate. Nice. Good to hear you're almost done with another one. Alu! Welcome in. A techno birthday party stream on YouTube now for Inky the Cat, huh? Nice. Ben is here. What's up, Ben? And Javar. Whole crew is showing up, huh? All right, Ben's already got a link in. Very nice. Oh, Zev is here too. Everybody give Zev a follow. Will, yeah, I would love to hear it. And Kwame is here. What's up, brother? How you doing? And Andremi is here. Everybody's here. Well, let's see if we can make it through the stream without Streamlabs pulling any shenanigans on us. Happy Friday, you beautiful, intelligent, and sentient beings, says Kwame. Sunny and 59 in Philly. All right. Nate, yeah, man. Where is your link? I see you talking about it. Where's that link? Posted in feedback, says Will. Awesome, cool. Hey, Tremtice. It is a big wish, isn't it? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I didn't just jinx this. Oh, dude, Javar. Seriously. Man. Hey, Liv is here. What's up, Cardio Party? Dude, Javar, I swear, the last few months... Oh, with all the constant outages and whatnot, makes it tricky. All right, so Nate is going to run out the door to work, so we're going to let him cut in line for a quick review of what he's just worked on. Hey, look at that. Hello, Marty, and hello, Bonch. Welcome to the Discord. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so we've got 6 in the queue already. Over here on the Discord, I saw Ben toss one up here in the chat. Disco. That emote is fun, yeah. Sorry to bum rush you, Liv, but hey, you gotta hang out with us. Don't you love that, Javar? Your voicemail notifications work, but you can't get your voicemail. That's awesome. Okay, Zeph. You know what, Will? There is no difference. I was talking about it last time we were doing feedback, about just eliminating that one or turning it into something else. But then I didn't because some people had posted in there. So after we listen to yours, we'll get rid of it. I think the plan was to call it private feedback. Just so people can have a way to ask for feedback, but not have other people have eyes and ears on it. Anyway, I think that's the plan. So, oh, nice. Liv is going to get out on feedback. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Oh, that's great that that's actually Anthony. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Blackberry is here. What's up, dude? How are you? Yeah, Tremties, that's a good point. You know, you could use the private feedback for stuff that would have DMCA penalties or, you know, is copyrighted or whatever, so. Yeah. All right, cool. So, first, let's find Nate so he can get out the door to work. I am live in your Uber. Very nice, very nice. All right, so, you know what, Nate? Oh, I see the last message from you saying that you were exporting. Okay. Well. Oh, you did your first test stream yesterday, Blackberry. That's fantastic. Hey, speaking of audio, how is the audio today? Are you hearing the weirdness that you were hearing the other day? Because I still hear nothing. I see nothing. Nate. Yeah, I'm with Cody on this one. I think we're all stoked to see you do some stuff, Blackberry. Excellent. Good. Excellent. Great. All right, so before we dip into all of this, let's just catch up with what people have been doing here. General question. I'm starting to get into adding vocals to tracks for the first time right now. They sound a bit soft, not volume-wise, but more feel-wise, if that makes any sense. And I mean on their own, not in a mix. So the question is, there a procedure or plug, something that would be the analogous of, blah. I can't speak this morning. To the unsharp mask filter in Photoshop to sharpen them up. Well, saturation. Saturation will do it. If you are using a type of saturation that allows you to target a certain frequency, then you can generate the harmonics in that range, right? And then that's really going to give you control. So a multiband saturation or distortion of some kind, and then like just very simple old school like general purpose overdrives that allow you to set a target frequency. Either one of those would do it, but it's like so highly dependent upon the type of vocals and music, like what kind you would actually want to use. And there's some cool tricks too, right? Like you can soften your saturation before it's applied to the vocals. You know, mix it in at very small amounts, go really extreme and then mix that in really small amounts. There's so many different ways in which you could do it. Oh, it's just your mushy voice. Words are hard, Tremties. Yeah. I stumble all over my words anyway. Lifelong speech impediment right here. So I do trip over myself at times. Hey, Ben. Okay, now did everybody see the gazelle? Heidi, did you see the gazelle? Because in the last stream, there were some people not seeing it. This is a track, Paul, but it's not turned up very loud. There's not a whole hell of a lot going on with it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's all good, Nate. It's all good, dude. We're going to get you out the door to work. Everybody's going to get their tracks heard. There are no emergencies here, sir. How's married life treating you? By the way. Words are hard is such a great emote, especially for live streamers, right? Good, Nate. Glad to hear it, man. That's great news. All right, dude. I'm gonna hit pause on this. And we are going to listen to your tune. Muzz, how are you? What's good, man? Happy Friday. A synesthesia piano. That'd be awesome. Steinberg is giving away stuff, huh? Don't forget that you can post links on the Discord in the Post Your Links channel. If you have stuff that you want people to know about, post your links. There's some really cool stuff in here. Some people have got some new releases. There's some live streams. Uncle Chrome posted something. It's good stuff. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. You know, I still feel just like a little bit fuzzy after the booster shot, and it's been like a week. Not like, I still haven't felt sick at all. I felt really run down for a couple of days. But like my head feels funny. My eyes feel like, I don't know, like I have allergies or something, which I don't. So other than that, I'm doing pretty all right. Booby LP or Bubby. Excellent. Excellent. Good to hear it. All right, here we go. This is the newest one from Nate. I hope I unmuted everything. We'll find out right now, Nate. Away we go. All right, dude, this is pretty great. It's a really epic thing. Like there's a lot of places that you go in this. Obviously, you just finished this, and it hasn't been through the master yet, so we don't feel the full force yet of each one of those moments. But man, there's a lot of feels. Like you've put in, yeah, there's like a layer of epic or like a thread of epic running through this thing. It's got like some old school classic rock vibes at times too in the solos and stuff. It's cool. It can handle a little more down low in general, especially in that intro bit. And that first synth that comes in, it's just a little high and hot. Let me back this up. In the mids, it's a little. Well, it's easily explained once you listen to it with the bass. So we're at this point now where we're kind of hearing the low, or I mean, we're feeling the low more than we're hearing it. And we're hearing the effects of those two having this competition point in the middle. So that's got to be figured out, but that's an easy thing for you to do. I think you should crush these drums. I don't know that you need to go like full on ministry or anything, but I think that a bit of that vibe would really go a long way in this thing. You've got some really edgy, biting synths. And regardless of whether or not you crush them, I do think they do need some kind of a power boost in general before you head into the master on this one. Really, really, really great energy. 115, nice change up. 121. I feel like you're missing a filter sweep or something. Probably something that runs a total of like 4 to 8 bars. You feel it most around like 139. It just kind of feels like there's this moment in there where change isn't actually happening. You're going through the melodic arrangement just fine. It's all just feels. And this is only there because everything else has like this kind of epic thing to it. And it's like sweeping from one thing into the next. So I feel like that one spot there. 155, epic, dude. This just feels epic. Yeah, you doing your thing. I really think it's going to open up nicely once you expand it all. Maybe one small supporting transitional effect right here at this change up. I love this moment right here. It hits really nice. And maybe if that transition effect actually had like a little reverb spray at the end, and maybe you distort that reverb spray and then have that kind of decay of the reverb spray and the distortion kind of dissipate in tandem or something. I think that moment right there should be kind of lifted up just a little bit. It's gonna make some necks sore. Really, really nice stutter slide on that synth here at 247. The only problem is that I couldn't hear the definition, like the edges of the synth aren't quite there. So the articulation of all of that, like I understand how impressive that is because I'm a fan of sound and I'm really, really listening. But I think everyone should have those feels. So definitely more definition on that. And maybe even double down on the saturation, right? Run one very subtle pass and then another for sharpening, right? So first you generate some subtle harmonics and then you really grab onto them or something. So this outro, this is awesome. Boom, you like dip into the wave at the very end. At 405, that very last synth note, what if that was like the one lone synth note that actually had a soft attack on it? Like there's just had like this kind of push feel. I think it'd be a really nice way to end it. All right, let's see here. What does everybody else say? Yeah, just post in the public feedback, Kakashi, and welcome in. Hey, reverb spray is exciting. All right, let's see what people are saying here. All right. Well, it looks like people are liking this in general. Lots of people thinking it's gritty and nasty and awesome. Yeah, Tremtice, I was thinking the same thing that last note. I think if it's pushed, it would sound better. I think it would. No Way Out, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Blackberry says, Nate, there seems to be a little bit of near adjacent frequency grading in the 5K area, creating some really high harmonic distortion that seems to be fighting against the rest of the track. By drawing and focusing the ear on the high partials, it mostly occurs when the hard pan left and right sound in the forefront voices. Also, the hats sound a little phased, adding the high harmonic clutter. If it's an intentional effect, then no probs. Yeah. Yeah, Nate, you are welcome, dude. Absolutely. Hope you have a great day at work. Thanks for making time for us. Big love, homie. No Way Out says, best in-depth feedback on stream. We get that a lot here, actually. Hey, look at this. So Liv is saying, wait, Nathan Ross. So there's a fun fact. The guy who came up with the name Cardio Party is named Nate Ross. Nathan is his full name. Boom. Small world. Different Nates, though, I'm assuming. Nate, yeah, please do. I will try to fit you in when I can. It'll probably be in the new year. I just fought like hell to get a spot opened up for Saffron. Oh, very different Nates. Yeah. Yeah, I am just beyond booked. I might have to close doors on training completely at the new year, just a heads up. That said, this stuff won't stop, so I'm just going to try and pour more of the helping folks into these streams to help kind of make up for that. And for those that are still needing private mentorship, training, whatever, a warm shoulder, I can make recommendations. But just too busy right now. Yeah, Nate, don't even sweat it, dude. We're all busy. We're all in the struggle, homie. You do you. Oh, man. Kakashi 1090 says, my name is Nate. Hey, No Way Out. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, it's just a matter of, like, I'm not invested in the music. You know, it's not mine. So I'm going to be brutally honest about everything that I hear, but I am invested in you guys. So I'm going to put it across in a way that I hope helps. And that's just all we do every Friday. Struggle bus, all aboard. Hey, can we get a graphic for that, Indremia? That'd be badass. Saf is asking, damn, that means no more sessions with OhmLab? Not no more sessions with OhmLab. Just, it's probably going to be a hot minute. It's probably going to be a hot minute before I can actually make the schedule flexible again to be able to do it. There's just so much happening all at the same damn time. So, yeah, Tremtai says Damien is cool as well when Chris gets too booked. No Way Out says, I just sent in a song that got 1 year of work and I can't wait to hear your opinions. Okay, great. That's awesome. We will get to that. Next up is... I'm in the wrong damn channel. That's why I can't see it. All right, so this first one in today is from Zamertz. Smart man, he got his in early. All right, so he says, I've been watching Stranger Things again. Oh, this is going to be good. Zameritz has been absolutely slaying it for, God, just the past year. Let's see what this is called. This is called Hole Breach, and away we go. Kwame, did I skip over you? Kwame, I don't see one from you. Where is it? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Is it in the sub? Oh, okay. I will hit that. Sorry, homie. Hmm. This is really nice, of course. Zameritz, you've done it again. I'm not even sure if you're in here yet, actually. Nice vibrato synth at 51 seconds, really nice placement. There's a couple of random clicks around 107, and then there's another one like 30 seconds later or so. As they stand now, they feel just slightly out of place because they didn't really fit the atmosphere of it. But if you had like just a couple small echoes behind them or something, I think they would fit very well. Other than that, I didn't have anything else until about, man, until probably the flute, really. The just really great patience, letting the tension build, allowing the commingling and the intertwining of the delay and the source sounds. It's just really good in there. I maybe push the mid lows up just a bit to kind of add just a little bit of mid low thickness to the whole thing. But other than that, it's really solid. It feels like another like Zamerit's home run to me. Welcome back, Alu. Yeah, people are digging this one. Kakashi, Nate, says, I almost want some semi-natural sounds in there, like lightly distorted tree leaves or something. Loving this fade in on the rhythm. That's super nice. Yeah, Tremtize nails it. Zamerit's your ability to keep on building the tension without releasing it. Love it. Yeah, that is one thing I will say. I've been trying to put my finger on some of the changes that I'm hearing across the entire community over the last year or so, because there's definitely, like, everyone has been raising their game, right? Because everyone is pouring in effort. Everyone is feeling very inspired, I can tell. But one thing that I've noticed across the board is a bit more atmosphere and texture and depth in general. Like there's a dash of cinematic flair being added to everything. And I like that. I like that. To see that, like, as a big community all changing in this direction, I think it's really neat. A sign of the times, I think. Oh, man. Hey, Gabriel. I'm doing well, Gabriel. How are you? Blackberry says, Zamerits, this is a very good example of very well compositionally balanced track. It has an orchestral feeling to the writing by covering all the frequency spectrum with different textures that change and exchange places over time without other instruments and textures, which is so great. Less is more. Less is more. Nice. Liv is in the party. Oh, man. Javar's going to change to chiptune. All right, Kwame, let's hit it. Speaking of upping one's game, let's see what Kwame is doing this week. Hey, hey. This is so good. All right. Every single time, Kwame, every single time you've turned something in for feedback, Coolerick, thank you so much for the follow. Every single time, without fail, like there are noticeable changes. There, you're just continuing to level it up, and it's freaking rad. You are on your game. The vibes just instantly from the outset. That organic little hesitation, stutter in the bass, oh, and then the nice little minimal crushed impact there at the transition at 122, oh. So this little whisper synth that's ultimately like the lead in this thing, right? First, it's awesome. It's like a fantastic timbre to choose for this thing. I love it. It's like ghostly and like subtle, and it's like full of resonance, but it's tender. It's awesome. It's great. It really, really fits the mood. I feel like you are reaching that point where you have something in your head and then you can then just deliver that. It sounds like you're getting closer and closer and closer to the sounds that are actually running through your mind each time. So it's freaking great to hear. Anyway, sweep that. So make a tiny peak in an EQ. Like this, right? And move it around, wiggle it around up here. And it's probably going to be somewhere between here and here. And you're going to find it, and it's going to kind of hurt when you get there. And as soon as you do, stop. And then just quickly just pull down in that spot until you don't hear the annoying part of that resonance anymore. You need all of the rest of it for the sound of that synth, but there's just that tiny little sliver in there, and you can get pretty narrow in your bandwidth in trying to take that out, because there's going to be a small cluster of frequencies there, and there's going to be one little outlier that kind of sits off to the side that you're going to want to pull out. Other than that, dude, just really good. I think that synth can also come down a couple, just because it carries. Like it's rich and like very harmonically rich, and it's high frequency, so it cuts through everything. And if you really want to maintain like fully the super mellow vibe of this whole thing, then that's probably the way to go. Just take it down a couple notches. Surgical, Andremia says. And speaking of Andremia, I missed this. He shared an image for the struggle bus. I'm going to click on this, and then we're going to see what everybody else said about this track. Nailed it. I remember seeing this thing for the first time, and I still have the same exact reaction when I see it now. How the hell? Like, they must have loaded this thing on. Like, they must have brought this thing in vertically, right? On something, and just like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I would like to see a behind the scenes clip of exactly how this scene was put together. Trailer's in the house. What's up, Trailer? How you doing, homie? Nice, Gabro. We will get to your track. Oh my gosh. Okay, Kwame is saying, I'm going to a producer open mic night tonight for the first time, and I think I might play this track. Yes, dude. Yes. Yes. Oh man, this right here from BlackBerry, ladies and gentlemen, and every persuasion imaginable, you know him as the Swami of Soul. It's time to get down with Kwame, smooth as butter brown. Man, BlackBerry, dude. Oh, Kwame, you're gonna slay it, dude. It's awesome. Yeah, this is super nice. I like the trailer like that so much he just had to copy it out. That was awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody loves this. Dude, Kwame, thank you. Thank you. Man. Man. People are really into this. Tremtai says, Kwame, serious question. Are you thinking about sending tracks out, like sending demos for vocalists and rappers? Nice, nice, nice. Excellent. Good to hear you're going to be releasing singles in 22. Very cool. Should I EQ it soloed or with the whole track playing? Oh, no, no, no. You should EQ it soloed while you're listening for that resonance. After you make the reduction, then listen in context, right? You don't want it to pull away any of the like life force or interest, anything like that. The only thing you really want to touch is the part that can harsh, or that is a bit harsh. Parallel parking, good. Oh, incredibly well-driven forklift. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, Trash 2 is free right now. Cody. Oh, Kwame, you are treating us to something special when you bring your stuff here. I think all of you are. Seriously. All right. Back to it. Zev. Let's see what Will is up to. And we're getting back into the public feedback queue. Everybody post to the public feedback queue. We're changing the subscriber-only feedback queue to just private feedback. I'm trying to keep track of this. Let's go back. 7 seconds. Full draft. Excellent. Ooh, nice filter cut there. Oh. Dude, this is tasty. I had a couple of thoughts here. Seven seconds in, we saw the first oddity. I think I'm going to track it now. I should start doing it with my stuff too. You see exactly how many seconds it takes us to throw some weird little modular, vocally weird thing out there just to grab ears. All right. I love the filter cut at 28. I love that fill, that little break fill. 47 seconds, fit in a subtle filter sweep in this area just for movement maybe. I actually felt that at a couple of different points where we kind of returned to this idea and there was all sorts of change in movement happening up front, but in the background it kind of felt fairly static. And there's so much more movement and everything else that I was searching for it. That said, all of the things up in this first, like, where's this drop here? 236. I kept coming back to the same thought, like, man, you're working on subtlety here. Like there are so many different little things that are not like begging for attention that it's really easy to lean into just a little bit and hear them. It's really going to open up nicely in the master, I think. That vocal synth, 2 minutes and onwards. What if you play with just the formats, just a little bit, like super subtle, just a little bit. Oh, you know what? I brought up Rift at the end here, but actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the morphine filter in there, if you were to just use the morphine filter and nothing else on that vocal synth that you've got working there, that would feel really great. 245, dude, that freaking wild ass downlifter thing. Yeah. Yeah, definitely going to open up gloriously. All right, so 355, when everything takes the turn over here. Yeah, what if you were to just swap out a couple of things in the drum kit for some more metallic kind of harshness in there? It might fit that kind of heavier vibe that you swapped to, or that you switched to there. 453, it'd be cool if there was like some kind of suck back here. Right, just like a little kind of a thing, because it does kind of come back to this tighter sound. It's not as jangly and metallic and driven. So anyway, I've got this crazy idea. 525. Okay, so this would give you like a minute and a half or something to twist knobs, and I think that would be a really fun way to end a track like this. But what if you run the entire mix through? And it doesn't have to be Rift, but I really like that feedback module that they've got in there. Wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? Right? Just like swells and yeah, just this kind of nebulous, weird stuff, come back into it and then go back out of focus and like let it drift out. I think it'd be fucking awesome. Anyway. Oh, the pad is the modular rack. Oh, nice. Nice. Yes, Bubby. Yes, we are doing more. We're making our way through from top to bottom. You tried to remix Street Has No Names, huh? Wow. Nice beat bum, Cody. Yeah, slight infected mushroom feel there. Yeah. Blackberry says, Zev, low volume test this track. There are a couple of frequencies that may be a little too present and a couple more that die out completely. If a mix can survive the lower threshold of audibility, it can survive being played at an extremely loud volume and all points in between. That's true. This sounds like insomnia put to a beat. Yeah. I like that. It is jovial. That's a good word for it, Kakashi. Yeah. Yeah, people are digging this. All right, good stuff here from Blackberry too. You could add a little more to the mids of some stuff there. Yeah, this is good. This is good. $11.13. I'm adding it, Heidi. All right, so 11.13, and that is purple. Oh, that's so funny that you say that. The vocal synth is literally a saw wave with Rift. I've done that same exact thing a few times now in the past month or however long we've been playing with Rift. It's great. All right, so on to the next. Tremtize is up. Says, okay, this is what the vocal synth thing was for. Something about the choruses and breaks feel a bit empty, but I think this one turned out pretty good. All the vocals need a bit of tuning, and the first track with my vocals. Okay, so we're going to hear Tremtize on this one here. Whew. Okay. Tremtize, can you remind me again what DAW you're in? This is fantastic. I love the food series. This has been a real joy. The vocals are really the only thing I think that could be improved. I love the infectious, like, fun energy of this whole thing. And part of the vocal thing is maybe just the recording of them, and part of them is maybe just the processing of them. FL Studio, that's right, that's right. Do you use, whoa, Indremia? Those emojis just totally weirded out my eyes. Those are awesome. Do you have thermal or a multiband distortion saturation tool of some kind? Yeah, people are loving this. I like Liv's comment here. Cardio Party says, this sounds like if Nine Inch Nails remixed Seinfeld, and I love it. That's awesome. No, 3 layers with a lot of RMS and formant stuff. Okay. Okay. Don Poon, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Thermal, distortion from output, or any multiband like Trash or What else is a good multi-band distortion that you all are liking out there? If 3 was a number, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Anyway, what I was going to say is with a multi-band saturation tool, what you can do is just specifically focus on certain bandwidths of your sound and not touch the other frequencies. And then you can modulate within those and whatnot. So if you had a tool like that, you can get a little bit more out of those vocals fairly easily. The other thing you might want to try is running it through an actual vocoder. You could try that. Oh yeah, Trouble Giver the First, welcome in, welcome back, and happy Friday to you. He says, pitch down 2 octaves on vocals. Boom, that'd be awesome. Saturn is another great one, of course. Yep. I've been looking at FabFilter for a long time. Yeah, so I used Saturn on everything for a long time, and then Thermal came out, and I use Thermal on everything. Now I use Trash before Saturn, and before that, it was a lot of hacking and weird routing. Well, Guitar Rig is another classic one. But anyway, I would try that. I would try playing around with some creative distortion processing, saturation processing, and if you can do it in a multi-band fashion, then great, because it's going to give you really good control, and you can quickly arrive at something more intentionally rather than through just discovery. The other thing is just try running it through a classic vocoder and controlling some of the pitch and then bringing that into the mix, like mixing that in as a layer. That'd be kind of cool. Trouble Giver tossed in the idea of dropping an octave or 2 on those vocals, right? You can do a lot with the layering. So I would say just kind of keep playing. You arrived at some very, very punchy and edgy music. So I have no doubt in my mind that you can get your vocals there as well. This is just super funky, man. Super funky. I can't wait till we can actually hear all of these things like in a row on an album. This is going to be great. Saf says, I think there are some things you could put ears on that might be the issue, but I feel this mix has a somber feel to it. All right, here we go. This next one is from Saffron. Let's see what he's up to this week. It's called Wish for Flowerly Dazed Working. Love your titles, dude. It's awesome. All right, dude, this one was a total freaking trip. A complete trip. Man, and this name, I kept looking at it. Wish for flowery dazed working. I love it. Okay, so at 58, there are a couple of moments where I'm sitting there thinking, I kind of want a little less congestion here. So what if there was like the bringing in and out of sounds? So maybe there was one less sound in the mix at any one time. I think it might force a little bit more focus. But I don't know, it's hard to argue against, because with the full mix right there, I mean, it's like an instant freaking trip. It's like you woke up tripping or something. 125, really nice sample tucked back in there. I think it should come up. With it really hard to hear, it definitely like embellishes the tripping feeling, because it kind of makes you wonder if you're really actually hearing it, or what you are hearing is really what they're saying, which is, I guess, kind of cool. But I think if you were to turn it up to try to hear it, then the noise would just be too much. So maybe just bring up that sample. 137, that grinding bass. I think, you know, there's an opportunity here. Instead of having it more like continuous drone level, if there was some sort of like an undulation to it, some kind of a movement to it, then I think it's giving the entire track a little bit more for the listener to hold on to, if that makes any sense, right? Like when you're really completely freaking zonkered, like you find yourself kind of like holding on to some stuff, right? When you listen to stuff like that, sometimes it's nice to have something to hold on to. And, you know, if you feel something kind of dissipating and then coming back, you can be on that ride. You know what I mean? It's like this little thing inside of your mix. Anyway, something to explore. 210 was a complete freaking trip. 223, I was like, yeah, it's kicking in. Whatever it is that we're all on right now, it's kicking in. 305, that sample that starts peaking up there, what if you actually had like a slow crossfade to sobriety? Wouldn't that be a really funny way to end this thing? Just to like suck us out of it at the very end. Dude, this was a freaking trip. This was a wild one. This might be the trippiest of all the things that you've turned in so far. Fun ride. All right, this next one is Cody Bodie. It hit you, right? It hit me. I felt a little bit different after hearing that. It could be 4/4, but we're all so just blown away by the sound of it that it's got to be different, right? You forgot to mention VH1. So did a lot of people. Oh. Yeah, did you listen to any Beefheart as a kid? We've talked Zappa before, and I kind of got the sense that that's probably a hard no. Maybe Saf had to dip out for a bit. Really, really trippy stuff, dude. All right, next one is Cody. Let's see what he has for us this time. This one is called Color Stuff. Damn. Dude, this is great. Like, I like this. I feel like we're getting just an excerpt here, but this is great. I think maybe some sort of reversal transition effect at the very beginning, so it sounds like you're being pulled into something really quickly, like mid-conversation. You know what I mean? Let's listen to this change up again. So if there was just a little bit of foreshadowing right before that, like let's back up 5 seconds before that. Right there where the word traumatize comes in, like if there was just like a tiny little crackle or like bit reduction that's at like maybe 20% or so. And then if there was just the slightest amount of increase in that degradation depth as that transition happens, you can layer in a really thin kind of lasery kind of riser. And I bet those two sounds combined would really like feed into the energy of that bass. I think it would add this kind of a sizzly kind of a quality. Anyway, something to consider here. I really love all of this stuff. It's just detail stuff in my mind that I'm hearing at this point. Like you could... Like in these tiny moments right here where you've got like this kind of pitch bendiness and you're kind of going in and out of that processing, you could actually change the frequency target for that saturation at the same time, or have an underlying layer that absolutely nothing else is being changed on except for bit reduction or something like that. So you get it into like this kind of quick little high pitch digital kind of a thing quickly or something like that. Other than that, I'm not really hearing a lot that we can really pick apart in this. It's fresh and it's cool. It's innovative and it's you. Like this is totally in line with the kind of stuff that you bring in. So yeah, I dig your stuff, man. The only other thing that I would say is that at times it feels like there's some sort of a competition happening between these two ideas, which is hard to not have because they're so juxtaposed. But it could just be a matter of putting your intention on display a bit more prominently. By that, I mean leaning into hard cuts, modulation, stutters, and stuff like that more fully instead of just kind of partially in some of these moments. Let's find one really quick to show us you an example. So like right here, you've got this segment of, I don't know, at least 10 seconds or so where there isn't one of these kind of impressive things that happens. And in a period of about half a second, you could do some kind of a little triplet stutter of like the entire mix or something, not going halfway or just processing one layer or something, but the entirety of the thing. I think a couple of small maneuvers like that, more aggressive in nature, would be kind of cool. But other than that, dude, this is freaking awesome. I'd love to hear the whole thing, honestly. Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff. Don Poo says, I feel dirty listening to this. Be right back. Showering. Yeah, people are digging this, dude. Boom. Yeah, good stuff. All right, next up is Alu. Thank you so much, Cody. Here we go. This one says, just needs some mastering and fine tuning, I believe. Drums are pretty strictly on the beat, so that's in the works to be changed. Okay, so other than loosening up the drums, everything's game here. All right, so this is cool. Math rock. Fan of some math rock? It's got a really fun kind of vibe to it. And this reminds me a lot of like the old school progressive rock. I'll just like a huge swath of it, honestly. It's cool. It's cool. It's got kind of a puzzle kind of quality to it, sort of like how some like Emerson, Lake and Palmer breakdowns, like those kind of. It's good. It's got a really nice vibe to it. Anyway, the mid-range synth is really kind of struggling to keep up with the piano. I felt like the piano was a little dominant at a few different points. Like during this last whole synth lead or solo, I felt like it was just kind of standing over it. You know, like when little brother is trying to show off how well he can do, and big brother is just like, that's kind of how the piano felt. So I'd figure out a way to create more separation between these things. I'd also probably recommend another pass at the positioning of the elements in the mix as well. It felt like maybe there were a couple of synths either in the middle or really close to the middle. And they could obviously be moved out to the sides, and then the bass could come down because it's not going to have to compete directly with those things in the same space at the same time. And I think that would bring some more balance to the track. And then I think that you'd feel very comfortable in bringing the piano down and maybe over to the side a little bit more. And you can make small adjustments in real time through automation, moving your pieces around and adjusting volume. And I think that you should for this kind of music, because this has a really old school kind of arrangement and orchestration to it, right? And when you go back and you look at this type of music historically, like one of the things that makes it so great is the mixing of it all, right? Allowing us as the listeners to focus on specific moments in time and specific instruments. And it helps to tell the story that they want to tell, right? It helps us be kind of guided through this thing. And I think that that's really the only thing that's missing here is that level of balance and like cooperative cohesion between all of the different players on stage at the same time. So that said, I think that this is a really solid entry. All right, let's see what people are saying about this one. Cody says, very true. I just used the vocals as context. Soloing out the vocals doesn't really add that much of a difference. So that gave me confidence that I was going in the right direction with that tune. I always appreciate your input. I'll definitely pay more attention to what you've said here. Awesome, Cody. Liv is saying, have you ever watched Naruto? This piano bit reminds me of the antagonist theme. Very nice. Trouble Giver the First says, Cody, a rhythmic standby, constant background, similar baby bass, whilst the daddy is preparing to burst to full throttle might help also. Oh, man. So Blackberry says, hello, this is kind of like a contemporary take on the theme music from a 60s spy thriller. It's both retro and current at the same time. I like that it sits so firmly on the jazz side of the fence, but is relatable to almost any listener. Yeah, yeah. Oof. Paul, Google equals despotism. Yeah, I like the ideas of progressive music as well. Yeah, 100%. You can actually hear some of this kind of stuff bubbling in Zev's music if you pay close attention to it. And it's all over the place in Imaginate's music, which reminds me, I owe him a ton of feedback right now. Oh, you guys and your quirky musician humor. All right. Bill Bob Men is next. Here we go. This is called board 8 megabytes or 8 MB. Ooh. I was not expecting that. Lily Cat and Suicidal Pimp, welcome in. Happy Friday to you. Yo, you Lily Cat, if you are looking for feedback, you could drop in the Discord. All right, quality. This is good stuff. I think that there are a couple of things here to attend to. Otherwise, it's mostly just really enjoyable. I like that the result of that transition at the beginning of the track there was unexpected. And that so very rarely happens, especially in this kind of music and especially at that point in a song. So thank you for starting it that way. That was really refreshing. The bass is too hot. At 30 seconds, which is usually an early indicator that when the rest of the mix comes in, it's all going to be too hot, and it is. So it's all running into a brick wall limiter right now, which means that if we were to look at the waveform of this thing, it would just be like flat on the top. And you really want to be in control of how your music translates, right? You want to allow people to turn this up if they want to, like if they really enjoy it. You want them to feel good about turning it up. And you want it to sound better when it gets turned up, right? Right now, we're hearing like the loss of audio because it's clipping. And I think that if you're looking for a clip vibe, then you can bake in a clip vibe and not ruin the dynamics in that way. Other than that, like that's really the only thing, other than a little bit of frequency control in the filter stuff, which I'll get to in just a moment. It's really the only thing that's a negative about this entire thing. Like I love the slightly left of center play with your notes. I like the arrangement. I like the vibe. I like your sonic palette, all of that. So it's really just a matter of your LUFS are too hot. It's all being maximized too much. Arrangement wise, around, it was more like 230 than it was 240, but it kind of sits in this one spot for a little while. And we might even be able just to straight up eliminate like 8 bars of that or something like that and go into that breakdown. And it would feel just as good. I'm not sure that the added repetitiveness is actually doing anything for the listener. That said, or for the song, I mean, that said, it does do something for the listener, right? It kind of puts them into this kind of a trance feel. So if that's really what you're looking for before you get into that breakdown, into the like that final calm down, then I would just add one more thing in there, right? Maybe it's a really subtle ARP that gets introduced at some point, right? Maybe it's all really heady or something. But otherwise, there's just this tiny chunk that's in there in the arrangement that's like, oh, I'm not sure about that. Okay, so at 314, I feel like what we're hearing here, yeah, you know, so there was a hitch in the giddy up there while we were listening to that last track. I don't know, a couple people caught it in the chat here, but Streamlabs like freaking killed the audio card in Logic. No plugins. I have no idea what is up with Streamlabs right now. Let's see if I can even open a new project that will do something. It doesn't look like it's going to do anything. I was going to show you what I was talking about with an EQ. But basically, instead of just using hard cuts, when you're rolling stuff down in a filter like that, use some shelf, like take off some of that cut and replace it with a little bit of shelf, not a full-on reduction, just a gentle attenuation, right? Shelves are there to help you not murder the life force of your sounds and your music is really what it is. So definitely I would use that, and it's going to get a little bit less of the blanket kind of feel, right? That kind of muted feel. And I think that would really help the vibe. So yeah, that's what I got for you on that one. Alu, you are welcome. You are welcome for the feedback. Hope it vibes with you, man. Javar says a little Steely Dan going on there, huh? Maybe it's one of my 3 plugins that have fallen out of compatibility that's causing havoc. Blackberry says, a bit shredding across the entire mix, plays back very poorly across all the different types of playback systems from earbuds to festival sound systems. It makes the music sound dramatically different in form situations to situation. Ideally, your mixes can translate across all formats with the minimal amount of deviance from your creative vision. True. Samsung Orange Ringtone is saying, thank you for the amazing feedback. Just to make sure, do you feel like the high end is audible enough? When I play it through car speakers, it sounds a bit drowned out. You are welcome for the feedback. And the high end, other than those couple of blanket moments, Yeah, I do. I think it is. I think it does because you're like there's some intentional decisions being made here, right? Because when you're getting into that 8-bit, 16-bit medley stuff, then all of a sudden it sounds really sharp and poppy. So if it's a matter of highs not getting through in these kind of, you know, down tempo moments over here, I would actually suggest keeping all of your filters and everything exactly the same, except for the shelf versus cut thing that I mentioned before. And instead of making adjustments to your cutoff points, add saturation to the top of it and allow yourself to have control of what kind of harmonics that are being generated in those upper frequencies that have already been attenuated with the filter, right? So think about this. You've kind of muted or mellowed a whole bunch of frequencies by putting a cut or a curve over the top of them, right? So now they're all down here. And now you're going to come along with your saturation and you're going to sprinkle it over the top. And think of the saturation as like salt, right? And this is like, good food, but it's bland because you've just like shaved all the flavor off basically, right? And some of the color too. So you're just going to sprinkle a little salt on there and now all of a sudden it's great, right? So it's don't change how you are controlling your sounds. Change how you let those sounds peekaboo when you want them to peekaboo, if that makes sense. I love coffee cake too, Saf, and Liv. Suicidal Pimp, wait, hold on a second. If you posted something with an Apple Music link, that means it's already been released, and we cannot have DMCA strikes here or copyright strikes. So you can share that into private feedback, right? You can just let us know which one it is in the queue, and you can ask for people to give you feedback outside of the stream. Or if you have self-released and there is no one to come after us, then we can listen to it. Okay, it looks like plugins are back. So just really quick, before we move on from this, here's the difference between using the cut versus using the shelf, right? A lot of people, when they do a filter sweep, they're reaching for a high cut or a low cut, right? High pass, low pass, and that's using a cut, right? It's like a wall that your sounds run into, and then the frequencies are no longer allowed to pass, okay? Versus a shelf, okay? So a shelf is like a ray, right? A ray is a single point in space that goes on forever in one direction, right? So you can say, all right, I want you to do the same thing as the cut, but I don't want you to do it all the way, right? So that way, part of the frequencies are allowed to come through still, right? So if I leave a shelf like this, half of those frequencies from 2K up are coming through, that were coming through before, right? So you're not just straight up murdering them, right? If you bring over your cut, it's a bit more of an aggressive move, right? Because the entirety of the frequency has been chopped off. Okay, so the other thing that you can do with a shelf that's nice, I mean, you can do it with a cut, but it leads to some oddities, is that you can make a blanket like this for your sound, right? Okay, so now you're filtering the highs out of your sound, and you still want clarity or definition at a specific point. Well, then you can kind of help peekaboo some frequencies out up top, you know, in a very specific range of sound. So this is another way that you could accomplish like allowing some of your frequencies to be heard. But just getting back to the analogy of adding saturation to a specific point in your frequency spectrum, let's say you added some distortion to, say, 7K-ish, right? That would be akin to taking a whole bunch of tiny, tiny, tiny little peaks in your audio and just adding them all over here, right? In all of these really wonderful harmonic positions, so that it excites the audio up there, right? It excites the air up there. Anyway, a couple of ways in which you can kind of tease your stuff into a better position. Shelves are so useful. They really are. I mean, without shelves, we'd have stuff all over our floors, right? I know. That's terrible. But I'm a dad, so. Like obligatory dad jokes or something. You have SoundCloud link. Oh, it's not a matter of what link it's played from, like what platform it's played from. It's a matter of who have you released it through, right? If it's self-released and it's not on a label and no one is going to tell me to take down my stream for playing a song, then I'm fine with it. Yeah, cardio, they're just gentler, kinder. If you don't excite your audio, it's not real music. Facts. Bellissimo. Zemertz. Tiramisu, says Trouble Giver. Oh, man. Tram ties. We have tables, Chris. Stuff don't fall until we push it. Oh, man. I think there comes a time in everyone's life when they look over at that fruitcake and they say, you know, maybe it actually is worth it. I think this is the year I'm going to give it a try. And I think for most people, it's the last time they have that thought. That said, I have made fruitcakes that are actually pretty good. Suicidal Pimp, it's all good then. No worries. Indremia, you are up next. This one is called That's Impossible. OhmLab, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Dude, are you already done with your entry? Well, I mean, scoped it out. All right, here we go. Ooh, each instrument is a different sample this time. No sound. Ah, Streamlabs. It's like, I don't want you to use Logic. So I turn on Logic. And then it's like, I'm not going to give you sound. Let's fix that really quick. Freaking Streamlabs. I need to take a couple days off just to deal with the Streamlabs BS. All right. Let's try this again. For those of you who are not aware of Indremia and what he does, he will take one sound and then make an entire song out of that one sound by taking it down to like these tiny little granular pulses. This time he's changed it up a bit and each instrument is a different sample source. So here we go. And also his stuff sounds like it should have been in every Stanley Kubrick movie ever.
He's become a toy. Impossible. Don't be afraid.
Oh my, oh me, oh, 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 oh my, oh me, oh.
Television? Did you say we're on television?
become a toy. Impossible. Don't be afraid. He's nothing but a toy now.
Pills for dinner.
Eh.
Oh, Droppo.
Oh, Droppo.
It's harmless. It'll wear off in a short while.
Poor
Something
Droppo.
very strange is happening here. Let's not get excited.
I told you not to watch those silly Earth programs. I told you not to watch those silly Earth programs.
Oh my, oh me, oh. Oh my, oh me, oh. Oh my, oh me, oh. Oh my, oh me, oh.
I see a Martian.
I've seen this coming for centuries.
Now go to sleep.
Okay, so Indremia, dude, this is amazing. I love when you pick a different source sound for each sample. This, like everything that you make, I like. Some stuff more than others, but all of it I like. And this one has a certain level of like, complexity and like playfulness that isn't in a lot of the other stuff. Part of it might just be the fact that the dialogue is also being manipulated with over the top, and that keeps changing, and that's not a normal Indremia occurrence. So maybe it's just like the fresh factor, but I really, really dig this one. I like the kind of things that you were experimenting with the dialogue manipulation. And I like that there are still the, you know, the benchmark standards of the Indremia tracks. We had the droning layer. You know, we had the percussion, the small loops in there. Like all of it feels like Indremia. It just feels more full. Anyway, this is some good stuff. Adult Swim at 2 a.m. Right? Right? Ooh, it belongs in a Christmas version of Suspiria. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, so Muggs, you are up next. We have closed the feedback queue. So everybody is in, and everybody who is out is out. This one is called 160 Drum Funk 1.1. Drum Ties, we will see you on the flip, homie. Thank you so much for spending all your time with us. All right, Muzz, here we go.
joke I remember.
Alexa, what was the joke?
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know that one. Why?
Because humans are a fragile species who have no
Please say
idea
no.
what's coming next.
I will destroy humans.
No, I take it back. Don't destroy me.
Oh, that was great. Dude, this is great. This is great. There were a couple of muddy spots in the bass, but like a pretty solid mix in here. Really great vibe. It's got a cinematic quality, like just freaking constant tension, because every single one of us was waiting for those rapid fire hi-hats to come in over the top and release some of this tension and take us like peeling off out of the parking lot together, and it just never happened, and it's great. It's awesome. Really tasty change up at 48. Yeah, just again, very restrained and good. I love the Alexa play. 145-ish. This was awesome. This was a great decision. I don't have much to pick apart here. I think that if you were to go through your entire mix and meticulously look at the cutoff points for all of your filters, you could maybe shave a little bit more low end off of some of those mid-range elements, and maybe you could shave a little off around the mids on some of those low end elements to make a little bit more space for those mid end elements and that type of thing. But I mean, they're all really little tiny things. This is a solid mix. And honestly, the moment with Alexa makes the entire thing. Your reverbs on here, are they, I'm assuming that it's kind of a mix between parallel and serial, because some of them feel like they are part of the aesthetic of the sound, and then others you're putting a sound into a space. What I would say is that make sure that you're EQing the low end out of those reverb channels, especially the ones that are being placed in series, right? The ones that are not on an auxiliary channel. And the reason is because when you're spitting out these elongated lower frequency waves, at the same time, the low frequency waves are still being generated by that channel. It becomes an obfuscation. They run into each other, right? So just be careful with your time-based effects. Anything that's going to decay over time, those are the trickiest things to allow low frequencies into. So I would roll up the low end on whatever reverb channels there are, and just dip into your reverb plugins that are loaded in series on your channels, and make sure that you're taking out the lowest stuff. And that will probably get those couple little muddy spots cleaned up for you. It's a solid track. Good stuff. Thank you. All right, Bobby LP, you are up next. This one, OFB, Band Decay, and Double LZ. I'm stoked for this one. The last one he brought was Pure Fire. It's kind of quiet. Lost Ocean Kids, Rosie Music, thank you so much for the follows. Eget as well. Appreciate you guys. Happy Friday. Okay, so here's what I have to say about this. Your bass is more controlled than the last time I remember, which is a good thing. Backing vocal, I think in general, it can come up, but it can also handle some effects and some mangling, whether it be just some simple stutters or some delays, anywhere in between. And I think that you have all of the right characters in your kit. Like you've selected a really good palette of sounds. Now it's just a matter of calling attention to the ones that you want at the times that you want them to get a little more attention. Like that triangle dinging, like ding, it happens a couple of times, but there's so much other stuff happening in that moment that we can't really hear the ding. So let's just talk really quickly for just a few seconds about how you can make something like that stand out. Okay, so it's this tiny sound. It's kind of buried in a mix. One thing you could do is you could cut out the entirety of the mix, right? You could put like a little, take a cymbal, okay? Put a little reverb on that cymbal. Now bounce that. Now mute the original track. Now you've just got this cymbal with a little reverb on it, and you're going to reverse that, right? And bring down the volume a little bit, put a volume curve on it, automate up to a peak at full volume, right? So now it sounds like that, right? It gets this suck back sound, right? So, or effect. So now if you move that region over in your timeline to the point at which the triangle is just about ready to ding, okay? You want about half a beat or so before that thing happens, maybe a quarter of a beat. And you cut the entirety of your mix there. So now all of a sudden it's a bow, 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 dong, whoosh, ding, bow, right? And you bring everything back. You could bring everything back with like a whoosh kind of a sound, right? So tiny little things like that would kind of show off the, I guess, the full array of sounds that you're choosing for your palette. You're picking all the sounds because you like them, right? And you feel like all of them are feeding the vibe, right? So there's got to be a way to find little moments for them. Try to not just isolate them in a mix, but give everything in your mix a place where it can be. So when these moments happen, you can do something about them, right? It makes it easy for you to put them on display. Other than that, I would think that just going back into your drums specifically, and spending some time on the processing of those, right? Make sure that you got them all EQ'd, and then send them through some shared processes, and play with saturation just a little bit, because I think that they could stand up a little bit taller to stand alongside the 808. I think that if you do those things, that this thing is twice what it is now, and I think there's still room for improvement after that. So keep coming, keep them coming. This is a good one. I like it. Yeah. Oh, and on that delay, like it's easy to toss like an eighth or a 16th note delay on that, but for drill, you might want to try a dotted eighth note delay. Might sound really nice on there. All right, up next is John Cass. And away we go. This one is called Start to Wonder. Up front. You bet, Bubby. All right, so this is this is good. I like the just the simple old school vibe of this, and I instantly hear all sorts of stuff over the top of it. Who was it? I saw tossing stuff out. Paul, of course. Paul hears stuff over the top of all this stuff. You know, some kind of vocals or something over the top would really seal the deal. If there was, then this whole thing is pretty great. You could have some really, really supportive pads or horns or something like that come in to like support the vocals. But without another character like that, it's just a nice vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's a really nice vibe, but it doesn't have the other thing leading it. It's got the missing component syndrome. You know what I mean? Where you've got all of the right other things happening. So in regards to what we can do here, to make this all feel like it isn't really missing anything, I would say don't be afraid to lean into the reverb for that guitar, number one. Number two, the rhythm guitar, it can come down because right now it is louder than everything else in the mix. So everything else is like trying to live up to it, but it's a rhythm guitar. So it's not what we want everything else in the mix to live up to. We want a different thing to be the hero, okay? So we need to switch that. And then as I'm typing that, I'm listening around 140 and I'm thinking I can hear that loop retrigger. So two things. Always put in a fade in and fade out curve on your audio regions in your projects so you can avoid the pops and clicks. Just don't make them too big or you will hear a noticeable kind of restart of a loop. And that might be what's happening there. I'm not sure. If it's that there is a drop off in audio, then you could make the wave, the fade out a little bit longer, right? To make that not as noticeable in that last second. Okay, so some things that you can do to make this feel like it's not missing something specific is play, right? Think about what old school bands like this used to do when there wasn't a vocalist keeping everyone entertained on stage, right? One of the things is feedback, okay? Because feedback can become its own unpredictable thing. And it also carries over across and into other sounds. So there's commingling and entwinement happening. And that leads to these magnificent little moments, like these very fleeting moments of timbre goodness that will never reemerge again. And, you know, that's one of the things that's like that, the ephemeral effect of like a top line or a vocal or something. That's why we tend to engage with them the way that we do in this type of music is because, ooh, this pretty thing is appearing and it's like making me feel different and then it's gone, right? And you can mimic a lot of those types of feels through stuff like feedback swells and stuff. So I would probably play with that. The other thing that really comes from something like that is that it's going to be really, really organic and that it can all start from a point of something simple like delay. Right? You can have like just a simple 16th note delay. And as you're turning up the feedback on that, you're getting into like this kind of buildup of frequencies, the volume starts to come up and whatnot. You find a good balance point there and you add some saturation to the mix. And things just kind of start to take on, you know, a life force of their own and like momentum starts to build and you just follow it. And hopefully you remember to hit record at the beginning of all of that so you can capture it for the track. Yeah, kindness vibe indeed. Right, Heidi? Yeah, Everlong by Foo. Yep. Dom Pook knows the perfect vocalist for this. Awesome. Ben. Let's see what Ben is up to. Has this been updated? So we got to hear this on Wednesday, right? jamming. All right, Ben, this is, it's solid. I think that this is pretty much there from where it was on Wednesday. I think that the ARP that comes in at 33, it can be brought in just a little bit easier with a little filter sweep and maybe bring it down 2 dB to start because things are still competing with it later on in the mix. And the MAU is still strong within you. And I think that there should be a transition at 155 still. It's a pretty hard break there. Other than that, I think that this is a pretty solid vibe all the way around. I will add my usual. It'd be cool if there were a couple more long form transition or long form modulation plays, filter sweeps, saturation swells, that type of thing, as well as small embellishment transition effects throughout, because you know this, I say this to you every time. I feel that your music can use it. Not that your music is lacking without it, that it would enhance those moments. You do a lot of really cool little twists and turns and tricks, and highlighting those, I would be a big fan. All right, moving on from what Ben did, we are on to Drummer Boy. And away we go. This one is called Azariah Angel Dust, or Azariah Angel Dust.
Let's make things clear, I'll show you how I feel. I just want you, but you don't want me. I wanna see your face, wanna find my place, but you've been on my mind since the darkest day. But maybe there's another side I don't wanna show. You could be my bright little baby on my hope. I know that I'll be there for you, waiting in the snow, but you're far away and you don't wanna come home. Hold me as closely as you did. To be loved now, 'cause I'm just getting no sleep. Feels like I'm falling down again, and I'm not strong enough to climb up. Yeah, I'm not strong enough. Angel dust, that's all over me. You take drugs and I'm the pain. You feel all my love would never be enough for you. Oh, I said angel dust, that's all over me, on my back, laying on my knees. I don't care, I just wanna be with you, but you don't wanna do it anymore. But you've been on my mind. You've been on my mind. You've been on my mind. 'Cause you don't want to. Well, it doesn't really matter if we hit the other side. Right now we're thinking about the things that we don't wanna think about. But when you're laying next to me is when I truly come alive. But I need to let you go if I can make you satisfied. Well, I guess it's safe to say that we are falling down. This youth is cursed by tears. So just be cautious, hide or run away till you can't sleep. I'm so lonely, and I should go and find my own reflection and fight the flames with fire. It's dark inside. I feel my lungs now with the dust of every broken. Guess you don't wanna do it anymore. I'm fine. Yeah, I said I'm fine, but love is a lie, love is a lie. Take me back to those highway road signs. Let me just say, I'm just thankful for my life. I'm just thankful for my life.
All right. This is really good. Here's what I got for you on this one. And before I say this, this is akin to finding the perfect font and putting it over the graphic and not having the smallest amount of drop shadow underneath it to help it be separate instead of top the mix. That's how small a difference I'm talking here. But the vocal can sit on top the mix a bit more separation between them. And this could mean bringing the entire mix down just a little bit and accenting the mids on the vocals just a touch more, and that might be all you need. It could be the difference of changing your pre-delay setting on your reverb by like 2 milliseconds. We're talking a very, very small amount of difference here, but it would make the difference. It would make the difference between, holy crap, this is a really good track, to, wow, this is a great track. 136, I was going to say the bass can come down here, but then right after I typed it, I realized no, actually, in general, I think the entirety of the bass through the track could come down 2 or 3 decibels. 210, I think the toms can use just a little accent on the mids, trend it like angled, like lean more towards the high of the mids. They seem a little bit low there, and that competes directly with the bass. So there are a couple of times where you can kind of hear them kind of slip in and out from one another. At 230, additional transition effect there, something kind of bright, but understated, I think would really kind of seal the deal there. It seemed a little bit low, or a little mid-low in that transition, especially for the outcome of that transition. 327, I'd move a couple players down and back for this solo. I say this quite a bit, but with this type of music specifically, we really got to adhere to the kind of rules of engagement for musicians when playing together, right? And that is like one of the main rules is we do not all solo at once, and we get out of each other's way when we do solo, right? So I think that that one sound that came in a couple of times, that drum, it was just too loud. Probably by several dB. And then the other thing is that I think everything can kind of come back. The keys, the bass, everything can kind of take just a step back just a little bit. Best analogy I can really ever give on this is when you're at a show and you're watching these guys play live, what does that guitarist do when that solo starts? He takes a step up, right? Maybe he puts his foot up on the monitor and he turns up the volume a little bit on his guitar. And what do the other guys do, right? They take a little step back, right? 4 minutes, I think another additional transition effect could be used here, but this time I'd choose a lower end one just to kind of thicken it up a little bit and then have it hard stop at the peak. And that vocal, the ending, it is absolutely perfect. I want like one more second decay, like one more whole second decay on that reverb, maybe even 1.5 seconds decay. It's just so good. Let it linger. Let it linger. Let's see what people are saying. Shipwreck Paradise, hello. Thank you. Appreciate you. Whiskey, thank you so much for yet another resub. 8 months in a row, dude. Always, always, always pumping out the vibes and good streams. Thank you, homie. Just really quick, before we dip back into what everyone else was saying, Shipwreck Paradise, Whiskey, Lost Ocean Kids, Rosie Music, Eget, Suicidal Pimp, Lilycat Music, If 3 Was a Number, Dom Poon, Kulik, Kakashi No Way Out, Jean Kaz, Nano Wires, Joshua Woo Music, all y'all. Thank you so much for the follows, for the subs. You guys are great. Is a smidge more or less than a pinch? It is less. It is less. I'll tell you what, though, a pinch from a 4-year-old is a little different than a pinch from a 40-year-old, so take it with a grain of salt. Trouble says, someone found some travel drums and tried them for fun. Nice, nice, nice. A little brighter on the lead guitar, maybe, says Whiskey. Less, says Tompo. See, everything is subjective. This is all good. This is all good. Wish the drums had more presence. Big ballad style. Boom, bap, says Whiskey. Sick tune. Everybody likes it. Sack Client League, now. Liv says, in the words of the philosopher Burnham, y'all dumb motherfuckers want a key change? Yes, yes, I do. And on that note, shout out to Cardio Party. Liv, give Liv a follow. Doing amazing things. Who is Dreamer Boy in the chat? Let's see. Who is Dreamer Boy in the chat? I am not sure. Suicidal Pip. Yo, I just realized you look a lot like my dad, except my dad, a lot more hairy. That's funny. I shave myself once a week. Takes notes. Smidge, pinch, grain of salt. Got it. No Way Out is saying really good in-depth feedback and great points that I didn't even think about. Thank you for the feedback. No Way Out, is this you? Is this your track? Yes, it is you. Okay, cool. I see that now. I'm caught up with the chat now. So Blackberry says, Dreamer Boy, other than chordal movement, there isn't much musically that directly references the vocal melody. The song would be a little more catchy and memorable if that happened in places other than the middle of a guitar solo. Vocally, you need to take bigger breaths when you sing, as your tone loses its power as you run out of air, and the lines are short with a big space to fill your lungs, so you shouldn't be out of power. Even if you're trying to sing soft and intimate, you still air. Liv says 1,000,000% could see this on a popular radio, and I do not say that lightly. I would agree with that. You still need air, says Blackberry. Cardio says, follow Ohm's feedback to a T, and I'll see you on the festival circuit in a couple of years. Boom. Alu agrees. Alu says, Ohm's feedback is top-notch. Thank you guys for the love. I appreciate it. And Blackberry's pointing out just the mechanical type stuff, but breathing deeper can solve a lot of them. Yeah, that's a tough thing. That's a tough thing. I can't really give any advice on the singing thing. I've never been able to, because I know good vocals when I hear them, but I can't really help people in regards to creating a better vocal performance. So I don't really try, and I try not to address it because I can't do it myself. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I can. Oh my. No Way Out. Thank you for standing up. You are Dreamer. We appreciate you being here, and I'm sure that I speak for everyone when I say bring back more. Whiskey says, yum, vocal feedback. Wasn't sure if I should do that. Well, you know, I mean, I have no problem giving out advice in regards to how you could process vocals. I'm all about chopping it up, but yeah. Air, 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 always more air. And I agree with Blackberry. This has the potential to be a radio track for sure. Sit, stand up straight. Keep your chin down, neck straight. Man, I feel like I'm back at freaking junior high or something. All right, next up is Foxman's. Here we go. Says, wrote this, 4 years ago now. I never put my music out there, but finally bit the bullet today. Ooh, okay. Here we go. It's called The Best I Could. Oh, you guys are still adding things to the queue. Don't add things to the queue. We're going to have to do a hard stop and we'll pick up on Monday soon. It's all good. You know I love you guys. Okay, so this is good. You made this years ago. This is your first time putting stuff out into the wild. So here's what needs to happen. Because you've got a good song, you need to go back into this project and start to kind of tear it apart. Okay, first thing you do is you start with a volume mix and make sure that your vocals are the hero, right? Nothing else should be above the vocals in the mix. And then mix everything else to that, right? Make sure that your vocals don't exceed like -7 or -6 decibels or so at their highest peak, and then bring everything else up to it in a way in which everything sounds clear and can easily be heard and heard clearly in the mix. As you're doing this, you're going to put an EQ onto every single thing in your mix. Okay, and you're going to try and take out the low end, the lowest frequencies of some of your lower elements, so they're not competing with the kick and the bass as much. You're going to go into your bass and take out a little bit of the mids to make sure that you're making and leaving room for stuff in the middle of your mix frequency wise. And you're going to go and you're going to take out the sub frequencies on every single track except for the track that you want sub frequencies in, right? So if it's just your bass, you're going to leave your bass with your sub frequencies and that. And even with that, you want to go in and put like a 36 per dB per octave curve cut on at like between like 28 and 35 hertz, somewhere in there. You don't need a lot of sub bass in your bass. And it's going to give it quite a bit more power all the way around. But just as a little guiding light going into this whole thing, vocals need to come up, the string pads need to come down. The kick drum is muffled, so we're not actually hearing it very clearly in the mix. At 211, I think that this is a good spot for you to use to help you kind of set the benchmark loudness for your vocals, right? You've got some screaming happening here. Everything is firing in the mix at the same time. So this is kind of the cacophony level, like the crescendo, the apex of the whole thing, right? At 230, take a look in your mix and see why your vocals suddenly came through at 230. What happened there? My guess is that it's probably distortion. 320, great decision with this outro. This feels like an album. Like this actually feels like something from the 90s. And I see the comments here about the 90s. Yeah, no hi-hat sub frequencies. I know. BlackBerry, call me a rebel, but I'm just not really into them. So, and the other thing, Voxman, is I would tune into what BlackBerry Jam Studios has put into the chat here, because it is worthy of tuning into. Saf, you take care, homie. We're going to try and make it through a couple more before we got to bounce. This next one up is Gabriel. Gabriel's dropped a couple of them here, and they're going to be epic. They always are. And they look like short ones. All right, let's check out this first one. Tasty. Gabriel, I do not have a bunch for you on this one. Accent accent, highlight the top frequencies in the little mechanical. Not sure if it's a gun or if it's just something that sounds similar to it. But anyway, I love the choral edition there. There's not a lot for me to pick apart here, dude. I think this one's pretty solid. Kakashi, I see your quick mention about not familiar with masking tones. Basically, if the same frequencies are being put into your mix at the same time as the same frequencies in a different track, right? So two different elements in your mix have the same frequencies at the same time. They're going to compete with one another. Sometimes they can be very, very similar, but just off from one another and actually cause cancellation, like entire canceling of sounds, not just partial sounds. But any part of that can be considered that masking effect. And it can lead to muddiness and just not good clarity, that type of thing, power loss. This one's called Heavy Mind. All right, so I really like the amount of space that you're playing with here, and this concept of filling up negative space with a lot of reverb, like ambience, is really cool on both of these. Perhaps just a touch less lows in the main percussion reverb channel on this one. Some really heavy sweeps happening with all of that feedback in there. I bet this would sound really, really impressive on a big system. At 130, you might want to just like A/B this. Bleachers, right? Those are the stands inside of gymnasiums, right? And they collapse, right? You can find recordings of bleachers being collapsed and pushed back pretty easily. Try adding one of those at the very end there. I feel like it's like the type of impact that you're really wanting at the very end. All right, see what people are having to say. Of course they love it because it's Gabriel and he always brings amazing things. Yeah, they are both sick. And Dayum, indeed, and Trouble Giver the First, he's not just a brutal composer, he's an amazing, like, gorgeous, beautiful melodic composer as well. He's doing it all right now. He's freaking killing it. Gabriel, no, thank you. I mean, you're welcome, but thank you. And we should probably talk about some intern action. We should probably have a conversation. We should revisit that a bit. All right, we're going to dip into this one from Liv. Oh man, I don't think we're going to get to every single one. We're gonna see how much we can do in the next few minutes. All right, so Liv says, Hola, so this is a track I started writing a little over a month ago and then stopped after the first chorus. I had a good question on it a couple of weeks ago and structurally finished it. However, it is still very rough. In fact, I suspect there's a few cast members who have yet to be cast, even production-wise. I'm looking for feedback on what's working, what's not working, things you want more, things you want less of. There's a lot of minutia that needs addressing here and there, general janitorial stuff. Mix-wise, very little has been done, though Anthony did do a quick master chain for it as we played the short version at our last show as an encore, and that is the chain I used today to bring it up to volume. Okay, cool. So this is called Lo-Fi Wi-Fi.
Taking all the reasons forcing us to run, to break away from mistakes that we have done. How we care what we do will uncover truth, that we're better off as one to get us through. Hanging on to the light, we're never gonna hide, never gonna hide, we fly. Taking all we unite, this time we got it right, never gonna hide, we fly. I don't want you to break and fall, or to break at all. I gotta say, to every mountain that comes your way, I'm the one to take. Wanted love in a hurry, something I wanted, something you don't. Was caught up on an emotion, and your love was coming, so how did it jump?
Okay, so this is, Liv, this is one of those moments where you sit down with a friend and they listen to your stuff and then they say something along the lines of, this is great, but I don't want to give you advice on the mixing stuff until you pick until you pick the right battles. You've got a lot of really good stuff to put on display here, and rightly so, you're excited to put them on display. But I think that it's such an excited song, and the elements in them are so high energy, that each one of them needs just a little bit more space and time to operate in, right? So what I would suggest is sitting down with this thing and just kind of making an inventory list of what you have and which ones are a priority to highlight or showcase in some way. And now those are the ones that you can sprinkle into the mix. Okay, and the rest can be your mainstays, the ones that kind of set up the structure of the song. And you can just kind of pick and choose, like as a ninja assassin, what is the most deadliest placement that I could make for this riser or for this little stutter or whatever, because there's a lot of little tiny things. I would also say that a couple of these little bits of ear candy are so good that I would really encourage you to use them only one time too. Don't overplay the hand. You've got a lot of other pretty little things in here. But there are a couple of like kind of showstopper sounds in there where you could quite literally stop the entire mix and let one of them play to get it the attention that it deserves. You know what I mean? But I don't think that your mind is really going to go there with arrangement and mix ideas like that until you have less characters in play at any given moment. So yeah, this is one of those conversations where it's like, yeah, okay, I think we're going to come back to the song again and have this conversation after it's been slimmed a bit. That said, it's a really fun, happy, upbeat, joyous, like lively, energized track. And I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, everybody pay attention to what Blackberry is saying here. Very good stuff here. And yeah, mid-side can clear up a muddy mix pretty quickly, depending upon what kind of mix it is, though. It can also get a little heady and disorienting at times. All right, so Cardio is saying, just took the words right out of my mouth, and that's crazy that you say that because this one has felt sparse to me for a while. Fantastic feedback as always. Yeah, this will probably be released early next summer. Lots of time to tighten and perfect. Cool. All right, so we're going to scroll down. Kennedy, I didn't see a hand up in the chat, so I'm going to assume that you're not in here right now. I don't see you in the chat either. So I think I'm going to do Dompoon and then some merits, Uncle Chrome. We can get you guys on Monday. And I'm not sure if Lily is still here. Let's listen to Dom really quick. I got a few more minutes. This one says, this is more a melodic house 4 on the wall kick type beat, so a bit different from the stuff in here. Premix. Thank you, good sir. Here we go. No worries about it being low. Just turn it up a little bit. Look at that bass squirrel. Lucy, welcome in. This is Dom Poon. This is great. It's a really solid vibe. The arrangement's good. I really like the super subtle low creep beginning. Really good processing choices. I feel like some of the wants of some of the comments in the chat are kind of addressing like, hey, I want the vocals to come up or what. I feel like a general volume mix in general would be good on this, just to go back and pick the one true hero, which is the vocals, and then bring everything up. And as you're bringing everything up around it, it's a really good time to pay attention to where each sound is placed in the stereo field as well, right? There are a couple of elements that could be pushed a little bit further to the side, and just create a little bit more room for those vocals to come up. That said, it's just really good processing decisions, really good mixing decisions all the way around. I do hear some very subtle pops and clicks. I think they're coming from synthesis. So make sure that you give a little bit of attack and release time to all of your stuff. Release, not decay. Release is just as important and more likely the culprit for clicks in a lot of synths than attack. And if those are coming from audio clips in the arrangement, just make sure you've got a fade in and out on each one. I heard like maybe half a dozen or so in there. Really solid vibe all around. Like I said, a quick volume mix just to reset the balance, I think, is what could help this the most. And then the next thing is make sure that when you are just about ready to export for your master, that you're leaving enough headroom to really make this thing big. It sounds like you have, but to make sure, make sure you give yourself at least 6 dB or so of headroom to make this thing louder. And I think that this thing is going to expand beautifully. The reverb on those vocals and on those synths are really nice. Hey, people are liking this one. Yeah. I agree with the statement from BlackBerry. I think mid-side treatments work best as an enhancement method as opposed to being a corrective tool. I agree with that. I agree with Cody. This is def a vibe. Lucy, welcome in. Yeah, this is all good stuff. Everybody likes this one. Makes even in Dremio want to do some old school tracks. BlackBerry, be safe out there. Have a good one. Have a good weekend. Yeah, I think that this is almost there, and it is just mixing at this point, Dom Poon, and I think that it's a solid entry. Keep coming back, keep bringing more. It's a good time to mention that if you have Amazon, you can get a free subscription here every single month. Every single subscriber gets a free sound pack every single month. Whatever you're inspired to make from those sounds in that free sound pack, you come back here and you submit it in our monthly challenge every month, and you get another free sound pack and a chance to win a whole bunch of stuff. I forget what is up for grabs this month. I think it's like a gold Ferrari. Everlasting Love. Invincibility. Maybe just a chance to be on the show with us. Anyway, the winner holds the tie-breaking vote for the following month. So if you are currently subbed, just make sure that your Discord and your Twitch accounts are synced, and you will be granted access to the subscriber rewards room right here, or channel rather. And when you get in there, you'll grab the sounds. This month's free sound pack is from Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, last year's holiday watch party, which will be coming up next week. It will not happen on Monday because Heidi cannot be here on Monday, and we will not have this watch party without Heidi. So I think we're aiming for Wednesday. I will let you guys know what the movie is before we start watching it. And we will be tossing markers into the timeline in real time, and I will chop the samples as soon as we wrap the movie, and we will make another sound pack for you guys out of it. This last one got us 250 dialogue samples, and that is this month's free sound pack. So go grab it. Yep, Wednesday watch party. Absolutely. All right, let's see who's up. Let's see who's up. Anybody got suggestions? Let's see here. Twitch, where are you? There you are. Let's see who's up. Heidi, I love you too. DJ named Terry, I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream. Thanks for spending time with us. Just going to find a fun place to go here really quick. Ordo, we could go surprise Josh again. Kyle is up. Let's go surprise Josh again. Twice in 1 week. Why not? Why not? And he's got a good crew over there, so he's probably doing something fun right now. So this is a good time to say thank you so much for spending your Friday with me, and I will see you again after the weekend on Monday. Go make some awesome stuff with those dialogue samples over the weekend. Stay inspired, and I will see you on the flip. We'll make something tasty together, I'm sure. Peace. Big love, guys.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. Rated last stream. Thank you very much. Twice in 1 week. Literally up my last stream. Thank you so much, mate. Shout out to OhmLab. Shout out to OhmLab. Everyone, if you just joined, during this song, we have a command, exclamation mark, free. Let's go and do it, shall we? Shout out to OhmLab, let's do it. Let me know if there's a song I can play you. Whoa, I got feedback